What up guys, versus Z with the video review for Master Grade Gundam Exia Ignition Mode. In this part I'm going to be talking about the inner frame, breaking it down to two parts. The first half I'm going to be talking about the inner frame itself, some of the details, articulation, some of the basic stuff. And on the second half I'm going to be bringing up some of the positives, anything I liked about the inner frame itself, any problems I came across, and probably you might come across if you haven't already if you don't have the kit yet and you're planning on getting it. So yeah, just sit tight, grab a bite maybe, stick around, and let's get on with the review. Alright, I'm actually going to start with some of the inner frame's negative points. First of all, I want to point out that this crack right there, I don't know if you guys can make that out, but there's a crack right there. I don't know how it happened, but I guess this part here in the assembly where the two joints come together and snap into place to kind of stick from the torso and peg into the arm, I don't know what happened. It just cracked. It wasn't too bad. I kind of closed it off with some glue, hoping that it wasn't gonna crack anymore. But we'll see how that happens. It's not too bad because I realized that there will be two pieces that come together and close it in. I hope that this fixed the problem, because right now my right arm, I believe, yeah, this right arm, it's loose. It's kind of loose. It turns in and out this way. It swivels a little too easy compared to this one. It's just a little stiffer. I've also tried having him hold a weapon. A couple of times the arm did flop down. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that when the model's completed that gets fixed. Also, another thing about the inner frame, it's all great and everything, but it's not an entirely full inner frame, I gotta say. Like you see right here, I have two of the armor plates on behind his legs because you have exposed polycap joints all over the back, at least in the back of the leg only. So right here where the thigh's connected to the waist, and right here at the ankle, just right behind there. So that's a couple things you gotta look out for. It gets annoying and pesky when you want to pose it. Also, there's a gap in the waist area right here because of the fact that the two pieces come together with very, very short pegs, and then you also have the separate peg thing going on here in the waist, that little gimmick. That also kind of doesn't help, but that does get fixed once you get the waist armor on. Another thing I really have to complain about, and it's really disappointing for me, because of the fact that this is Bandai's newer Master Grades, or one of them actually. The fact that this piece is a solid piece. There's no extra point of articulation, so the head really only has basic head movement. There's not too much back and forward going on, which is to me kind of disappointing, because it definitely adds some of the little angry Gundam look pose, or the just staring up to the skies kind of pose. It really helps with that, but we'll see what goes on, how it happens when the kit's complete, like I said. Then also another slight gripe, very slight gripe. You see some detail here on the top part of the body, but I can't agree that there's too much mechanical detail going on. I'd really like to see some mechanical detail going on, considering Exia is very, I should say, modernized compared to a lot of the Universal Century Master Grades. A lot of the Universal Century Master Grades do have a lot of mechanical detail, like the just released Master Grade gun tank. That's a good example, but I don't know what's going on here. I wish there was more, but can't have everything apparently. It's a decent amount. It's a very decent amount. A lot of these problems, they're not too bad. Just a couple things you gotta look out for. Some of them will be fixed, I'm pretty sure, once the model is complete. So right now, let's just get to some of the positive points about the inner frame. Two joints come together and snap into place to kind of stick from the torso and peg into the arm. I don't know what happened. It just cracked. It wasn't too bad. I kind of closed it off with some glue. Now, of all those little small complaints, I have to agree, this is a very impressive kneeling pose. You kind of see some of the panels here, like right here. It's a moving piece of armor, I guess, that you'll see later on with the completed model. So it's kind of extended all the way down there. Articulation is definitely one of the key points of this inner frame, or just the kit itself. Articulation is sweet. It's some of the basic master grade, more like new release master grade levels of articulation. A lot of things you'd expect from an Exia master grade. You maybe just a few points short of a great, perfectly great master grade kit. Though it does have a nice point of articulation in the torso. You have swiveling here side to side on the upper part. I'm sorry, right there on the chest. You have two waist joints. You have one that's right here where the red piece on his abdomen area should be, so it goes back and forward. Then you also have the waist joint, the ball jointed waist joint that allows for the basic movements. That's actually pretty impressive right there. And then not only that, you have the new separate waist joint peg thing going on here, which definitely allows for a great kneeling pose, and I'll get to that in a second. See anything else special? Oh, and the ankle joint. It doesn't really show here right now, but you can kind of see there's kind of a double ball joint thing going on here, where there's one on top and the one attached to the foot. So that's really impressive. And also, the foot actually can turn a little, as you can see. And then there's the one thing I absolutely love. Oh man. See, a lot of kits, they like to have their feet go down for some reason. I'm glad that this foot doesn't go down too far, but the one thing you gotta have, feet that go up, because that's key point right there for nice action poses. So articulation is really great, except for I had to complain about the head. And oh, another kind of small complaint, small complaint. I don't know how it'll come out at the end, but that's as far as the knee will bend. Now it looks a little disappointing now, just a little disappointing because we're probably used to having a higher standard of a full bend, closed bend maybe, but we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Posability is definitely a key point. The articulation has a lot to do with that. Like I said, wonderful, impressive kneeling pose. Majority of his body is straight. A lot of kits require that the body is tilted really far forward and the waist to be like at an angle like that. I noticed some kits like the Unicorn Gundam require you to do that. Even some perfect grades, like the perfect grade 00 riser, is gonna come across an issue like that. So this is actually very impressive. I like this posability. You're gonna get some nice fluid poses with the given amount of articulation you're gonna get. Maybe not the best amount of articulation, but with, like I said, with the given amount, you're gonna get nice fluid poses, and that's what I really like about the inner frame going on here. Like I said, nice kneeling pose. I love it when a Gundam can pull off, or a Gundam kit can pull off a nice kneeling pose. The kneeling pose really shows off some articulation limitations. But yeah, some little thing I kind of have to mention, just the solid feeling of the inner frame. It feels solid, but not all the way. At this point, since I don't have all of the armor on, it feels almost slightly solid, like fully solid, like a very strong kind of solid feeling model kit. It feels solid at some points. I can definitely tell the legs are going to be weak once the model is all completed and you get all the armor on. I can definitely tell that the legs are going to be weak, but hey, the no grade had weak legs. I just hope this one is better in some way. But yeah, let me just give you a nice quick 360 before I leave and close this part of the review. Just wanted to let you guys know a couple things. If you don't have the kit, some things you gotta look out for. Oh, speaking of which, see this, how it's still there and right here the armor's on? Well, Prime 92 suggested that you guys should glue that area on. Now, when I went ahead and tried that, where I removed the sword and everything, for me, half the time it pegged off of where it's supposed to be. More than half the time it stayed. But for like a small amount of the time, it did pop off. So it's up to you guys. It's totally up to you guys whether or not you want to glue that in or not. Maybe with given time, I'll eventually glue mine in. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it off. But anyway, very impressive inner frame. A few small gripes, very few small gripes about the inner frame itself, not the entire kit. Don't mistake that for being bad points of the kit itself. But overall, I'd have to say Inner Frame is great, and it really shows that this is Bandai's one of the latest masterpieces. So, hope you guys will stick around for the next part where I review Master Grade Exia Repair. Um, Even some perfect grades, like the perfect grade 00 Riser, is gonna come across an issue like that. So this is actually very impressive. I like this posability. You're gonna get some nice fluid poses with the given amount of articulation you're gonna get. Maybe not the best amount of articulation, but with, like I said, with the given amount,